There is a new bank switching offer from Santander in November 2024 worth 150 quid. I'll take you through who can get it, how to get it, plus some additional perks and extras that might top up what you receive. So first of all, I said this offer for 150 quid from Santander. This starts on the 4th of November 2024. So this is when it starts. If you started any switching process before that, you won't be eligible. You have to have started the switch after this date. At the moment, we don't know when this will end. They haven't published a closing date for the offer. Based on previous ones, I reckon it will last between 2 and 4 weeks, but it could go at any time. They could put it much quicker. It could last longer. But I would imagine, work on the assumption that by the end of November or start of December, it certainly would have moved on. If, however, you have started the switch before the offer is gone, you'll be fine. It doesn't have to complete before the offer is pulled, it just has to start before the offer is withdrawn. So it's 150 quid. It's a bit disappointing, if I'm honest. The offer when it ran in the summer was 175 quid. When it ran in the spring was 185 quid. And when it ran a year ago was 200 pounds. So it's diminishing returns. That's not to say in the future they might start pushing it back up again, but it is a disappointment at just 150 quid, particularly when you compare that to the other deals out there, which are currently, most of them 175 quid or even up to 200 quid. Remember, you can find all the bank switching deals over at becleverwithyourcash.com/bankings. But still, if you do want to go for this one, 150 quid is better than nothing, right? And there is also a way to get a little bit more on top of that, because if you apply it via Top Cashback or Quidco, there's currently £20 available for many of the accounts that are eligible for this. Do obviously double check on the cashback site and the deals I'm going to tell you about right now that the account you're applying for is eligible for both deals. But if you can, extra 20 quid on top, 170 quid, which is pretty nice as well. And don't forget, if you've never used Quidco or Top Cashback before, there are welcome offers on top of that. We've got a number worth 20 quid, but you won't be able to combine those with this deal. You have to spend them elsewhere. But still, first time using them, 20 quid for spending £10 at a different shop is worthwhile. And then taking advantage of the Santander offer. So there you go, potentially 170 quid there. Now, this offer is also open to both existing and new customers. So whether you have one of the accounts I'm going to talk about in a moment or haven't, you should hopefully be able to get it, although I'll come to who gets ruled out in a moment as well. But again, it's not just for newbies, existing customers can get it as well. So how do you do this? Well, first of all, you have to open up or already have one of eligible current accounts. They are the Everyday, the Edge Up, or the Private Current Account. Now, last time it ran, the Everyday wasn't part of this. So it's good to see that has returned. And I'll talk in a moment about which one I think you should go for out of those, okay? So you've got that account now. You either open it brand new or you've got it. You then have to switch using the current account switching service, which means you switch from a different bank. That bank cannot be a Santander account or one of its linked accounts such as Kahoot, okay, or Carter Allen. Okay, but though it's very rare that you'll be switching from those accounts anyway, but you can't switch from a different Santander account either. It's be from a completely different bank. Now that switch will need to have completed within 60 days of it starting, okay? So you open up the account or you have the account, you start it, you've got 60 days for that switch to complete. In most instances, you're going to do it much faster than that. The minimum is going to be 7 working days, although it depends, the Santander themselves might not actually let you do it that fast, but broadly speaking, has to do it within 60 days. That's the date you need to know. Now that's it in terms of the actual switch itself. Nothing needs to come from the old account. So you could have a completely empty dummy account with nothing in it, move it over, absolutely fine, okay? But in the new account or the existing account, when they assess the account, so roughly that 60-day period, you must have 2 active direct debits in that new account. So you can have switched them over, fine. If you've got them in the old account, you switch them over, that's okay. But if you haven't, you can set some new ones up in the Santander account, which makes life so much easier. You don't have to put them on the old account you're moving over beforehand. Make sure they're active though, which means just for the benefit of doubt, I always like to err on the side of caution that money has left the account on that direct debit before those 60 days are up. Okay, and that will help you. You also need to deposit £1,500 into the new account or the existing account. Again, that money does not have to be in one go. It's always the case with switching deals. Pretty much always, you can put in 3 lots of 500, 5 lots of 300. Your choice, right? But the money has to go in there and it has to have been cumulatively put into that account again before that 60-day period is up. It doesn't have to stay in there at all. You can move it out. It doesn't have to stay in at any point in time. You can put it in and take it away straight out if you want to. It just needs to have gone in there. Now, I said existing customers can get this. This brings us on to one of the more important criteria here that you have to be aware of. you cannot have had any switching bonus from Santander already. Now, they say since September 2021, that basically rules out if you've had a proper switching deal, that is going to rule you out, okay? Because September 2021, after that, you wouldn't have got a switching deal prior to that date. There were some offers that ran earlier than that, though, often some refer a friend ones. And potentially, if they took place before September 2021, then you're going to be okay. You'll be able to take advantage of this one. So that's kind of a change from before. Previously, you couldn't have had any money. This time, there is that cutoff date of September 2021. But again, have a look at your records. See if you're not quite sure when you've had money from them from a switching deal. I imagine for most people, it's going to be after that date, which will sadly rule you out. Important thing to say here as well is that you can only get one bonus, one switching bonus. So if you are switching into a joint account and there's two of you switching in, then that's one payment between you and that's it. You won't be able to get it again elsewhere. So if you are a couple, I would personally be switching two separate accounts into separate solo accounts, personal accounts, rather than faff around with switching your joint accounts. As I said, we don't know when it's going to end, but we do know that the bonus will be paid 90 days after requesting the switch, as long as you do complete all that criteria, which basically means you'll be getting it in sort of the end towards the end of January 2025. So that's a switching offer, but which of those 4 current accounts should you go for? Well, first of all, let's rule out 2 of them. Most of you are not going to be eligible for the private account, so let's not even talk about that. And also the Edge Up account, I don't think is worth it. You get slightly higher rates of cashback, but you pay a higher fee. Broadly speaking, I don't think anyone should be going for all this. And if you're already on it, I would be changing down to a different account, which leaves 2 accounts, the Edge current account and the Everyday current account. Now, most people, I think, would be better off looking here at the Edge current account of the 2, because you do get some extra perks with this, which will help you make a little bit more money on top of that cash back for the switching deal itself. One of them is 1% back on your bills. So your council tax, your energy, your broadband, your mobile phone, your pay TV. 1% doesn't sound like a huge amount, but if you're paying these bills anyway, you may as well get a little bit back for them. You also get 1% cash back on some spending. It's quite limited, and if you've got a Chase debit card, you probably don't need to faff around with this, but if you don't, then you'll get some money back. If it's a new thing to you, it might be a good introduction to cashback on spending. Really here it's focused on groceries and a bit of travel. Or there's also access to a 6% paying savings account. You can only get this balance on up to £4,000 there, but that's still pretty good compared to elsewhere. So all of those combined will give you more money every year. But there is a downside, and that is a £3 fee that you pay every single month on this. So you need to be really, really certain that the cashback you're going to earn on those bills and on your spending and the interest on that savings is going to more than make up for that fee. And what you want to make sure is that not only are you covering that fee, but you're making a profit compared to just putting your savings elsewhere. So for most people, I think it's a good one to go for. But if you don't pay the bills for a start, or maybe you're paying your bills from the no longer available to new customers Santander 123 and Santander 123 Edge accounts, you won't want to move the cash back over to this account. In those situations, I would be looking at the Everyday account instead. Now, the Everyday account is bog standard, has no fees, no perks, no frills, but it's fine. It won't be anything you have to worry about. So you can open up that account, switch over to it, keep it open, make sure that you've put those direct debits in and paid that money in those first 60 days. But as soon as you've got that cash, if you don't want to keep that account open anymore, you don't have to. You can use it as a dummy account to switch elsewhere, or you can close it down, or just keep it sitting there, stop those direct debits, withdraw any money that's in there, the bonus that's come in, and not worry about it at all. So there you go. That is the Santander £150 switching offer for November. Again, there is a full analysis of this and all the other switching deals over at becleverwithyourcash.com. My name's Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.